Coming up on today's episode. I'll take this opportunity to welcome everybody back to the ERB, and what you see on the bench is what you see. It is a RCA boombox. Now, this boombox is the one I bought on eBay, and I think I paid $15 for this. I thought that it was the same one as I've got. Now, I have the RP7950A, and first thing I noticed is this one's different. This one has, that switch is not what I'm talking about up there. That's a whole different thing. But this one has an auto reverse deck on one side, on the B deck actually, as you can see there. I think I don't know if I got enough light in here or not, but I'm doing the best I can. I do have my new mount mounted on the side of the bench like I wanted to do, and as you can see, I'm a good bit distance away back from the bench up here. I'd say, if I had a measure, I'd say it's close to 3 feet from the boombox. So that made a big difference in what I can video and what I can't video. And I like that a lot. And I'm very happy so far with the way that's working out. And so anyway, let's get on with this. What I'm going to do is basically go through this really quick and show you what's working, what's not working. Now, I don't know how well you can see it, but the FM stereo light is lit up. And this power switch here does not work. It is broke. And I don't know if that's got anything to do with it flickering or not, but to get power, you have to turn this on. And you can hear the radio works fine. So that's good. That works fine. Volume control is really scratchy. Going to have to be fixed. The auto reverse deck does work. I'm going to put a tape in there and show you that. And we'll put it on tape. Oh, you can hear already. This, I think this switch here may be dirty or something over here. But you can hear the noise coming out of the right speaker there. And let's put play. Tape plays. Whatever that noise is over there obviously has some wiring problems. Now this one over here, I'm not even going to bother with it, but it will spin the tape as it's supposed to be. Capstan and pinch roller work, no sound comes out. So obviously some wiring problems with this one. And, you know, it's not as bad as it could be, I guess, is what I would say about that. But it is working somewhat. And that is the big difference in this this one in mine, is this one has the auto reverse deck. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it, but this is an RP 7956A. And I guess the guy didn't look at it very close and thought it was 7950, because that's what it said on the ad. So that's why I thought it was the same, but, you know, no big deal. Like I said, this is this switch here is frozen. It's in, and it won't go off. So this is what they've done to fix that. Put that in there. Now, the big thing, big news about this is the fact that the CD works. And if you watch your little numbers here, I think it'll come up. Oh, I got to put it in CD for that to happen.
We're praying for you. We hope in the worst way.
Wrong way. There you go. Now you can see it's coming up. And it will load up all the programs or all the songs in there, as you can see. And you hit play. It does have some hum in the sound, so it's probably going to need filter capacitors.
give love and never. Sometimes I will, and again I.
Got good sound.
Listen to me, baby, you gotta understand. You're old enough to know the makings of a man. Listen to me, baby, it's hard to settle down. Am I asking too much?
One of the other unique features of this boombox, and it's mine too, is it has surround sound. When you click that on, you're outside, this thing just radiates sound all over the place. It's just kind of amazing the way it sounds, but like I say, it works good. And so this is obviously going to need some fixing. Now, obviously, they've drilled a hole here for this tape for switch. Turn that off. But I think our little module will fit there just fine, I believe. And I might have to shave off an edge or something for the rounded part there, but I think that's going to work out just fine. So there you go. And this is the RCA, and we have one left now. That's the CFD 510 Sony that's in the living room, still not unpacked. All right, what we're going to do is take this one off the bench and get the other Sony, the CFD 510, and set it up and take a look at it. So, like I said, there you go. That's a quick look at the RCA RP7956A. So there you go. Oh, welcome back once again, YouTube. We are here at the bench once more with this CFD 510. I have checked it out, and I'm not going to even bother. I'll play the radio for you because show you that works. And that is the hum.
The daily variety you need in your musical diet. Everything old becomes new again. WHUM.
So there you go. That works real good. Even the antenna is up there now. It's loose, but it is complete. Has the end on it and doesn't appear to be broken at all. The little screw that holds the tightness for the that holds the antenna from falling down, that's obviously unscrewed or something. So because it just sort of, I've got it laying against the thing up there, so it stays in place. Everything's working as far as the amplifier. It's got the rotary equalizer, 3-band equalizer. You have a low, a high, or a low, a medium, and a high, I guess, or middle, or whatever you want to call it. And then you have the balance here. And again, that's pretty much the same as all the rest of them have been as far as controls go. I mean, you know, what it does. So, like I said, it has fairly good sound to it, I thought. And I haven't even played with, I think the equalizer's on flat response right now, so I haven't even messed with it. So there you go. There's a quick look at the last one. Now that's something. But now this obviously has good place here and a good place here, and by gosh, it even has a place up here for the MP3 Bluetooth module. And I think either one, any place there that's open, that's what we're going to be looking for. By the way, let me tell you this, the little module I ordered for the GE radio, that was going to be the first one I did, but it's still saying the same thing. Basically, it's in this country, but no further tracking is available, so until somebody shows up in the mailbox or the USPS gets a hold of it and assigns a number, sometimes they do that, I can't give you any further information on it. That's the end of the line as far as the China tracking goes. So anyway, whenever that gets here, we'll tackle that. That's going to be a fun one, I think. So I've got plans for it on how to do that. I have not looked at either one of these RCA or the Sonys that we just now looked at to see where we can hook up our audio and things like that. I'm guessing that the Sony will be able to hook up through the CD just like we did with the other Sony. All right, well, here we are at the computer once more, and we have seen the boom boxes in question, and we are now proceeding to find out where we should get our audio and our power from. And this is only going to cover the Sony CFD 510 because I don't have a schematic on the RCA. Never have been able to find one, and like I said, we'll just have to kind of take our cue from everything else we've seen, and basically that's going to be taking the audio from this section right here. As you can see, this is where the CD board connects to the audio main board, and that seems to be a pretty good place on the Sonys to do it. Now, it didn't work out so well on the Iowa boombox, but you know, I think the Sonys probably are all pretty much the same. At least that's my hope. Of course, now this is not panned out. We will have to actually do the surgery on the Sony to take it apart and actually do a test to make sure this works. But here is where I'm proposing left and right and ground audio input for the audio, and I think that's going to be our spot. And now if we look over here, okay, here we are at the S302-1 function switch. Now this is the B plus switching, I believe. I know it says B plus there, 9 volts. If you look at that, that ties right into this one here, which is the common for the switch. And obviously it slides this way, and the third one over is the CD. Now if we get our power from wherever this comes down here like this, any point along here, R318 right there would be a good spot. But that's the one we want because that is only active when the switch is in the CD mode. So at that time it would give our module 9 volts, and that's what we want. So I think we've got our audio and our power requirements met pretty good for this. So I think, you know, that's enough of looking for this. I mean, this is getting pretty easy actually, if you think about it. So it's just a matter of finding these spots on the actual board itself. And that sometimes proves to be harder than this part is. So let us go and look at our outlines of the circuit boards and see if we can find some convenient spots to get our power and audio from. So, all right, now if we look at our audio main board, which is obviously what we're looking at here, this is the PCB itself. CN302 is our connection point from the that we looked at before on the schematic, and these are the pins 1 and 3, and the middle is ground. That's where we can get our audio from, and conveniently right next to it is S302, and there are the sections, I believe, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 will be the one we want, and it looks like the CD, according to this, is the top one. So that's probably where we'll get our power. Alright, so we have looked it over really good now, and R318, R319 is our two tie points. In other words, where they go together is our 9 volts, and it also is right here. You can see here's 318, here's 319. Here's the point where they both tie together on this trace right here. It goes down, if you follow it down here, it's the second large trace over, and we can follow it down to this point here, which R355, there you see that there's a jumper going across here. Now this is a good spot. You could get it here, and if you follow it over here, that actually goes right to pin 1 of the or actually the pin that for the power on the CD, and that's what that is. So there's a good spot right there, near R350 or 335, right there. That jumper that's right below it is the one we're interested in. We'll check this all with the voltmeter, obviously, and put it in CD mode, and we can double check our points and things like that. But I'm going to say right there is a good spot to get our power from. and that power will only be active when in the CD mode. And there's our audio connection point. So if this works out, this will be great because it will be easy. Alright, we are back once again. We are at the area around connector 302, here, CN 302. That is our audio input from the CD into the main board. Now, what we're looking for is a better place to actually connect our wires to, due to the fact that it would be difficult to tap into that actual connector. And so if we look at the circuit, the traces on the circuit, we can see that one of them goes to R113 right there, and the other two go to R219 and R119. Now those two, the R119 and R219, are our left and right audio, and the R113 is the ground, the common ground between them. So those are good places, I believe, to connect to our points for audio, as they are going to be solder joints and they'll be easy to get access to, and that will be a very nice deal. Well, like I say, you have the R119 here, 219 here, and 113 in the middle. We'll have our common shield wire going to the 113, and left and right's going there, and that should work out rather well for the audio. Now on the power side, we have to consider the points that we're looking at from the function switch right there, which is section 1. Now that's the section that switches the B plus power from one device to the other. In other words, CD, radio, tape, whichever it is. It's shown in the tape position right now, and if you move it up one, that's radio, and you move it up again, that's CD. So if we look here, we can see very clearly that this trace here is our common point for the CD power. So if we can consider the following points as our connection points for our 9 volts. This would be this one here. There's a jumper to this one. There's a jumper to this one, all here. And that also would indicate these here could be tapped into for our 9 volts. So any of these red connections right there would be good for our CD only connection points, and that's what we're looking for. Now as far as the ground, I believe the ground is the same for the audio and the power, so we can actually get our ground over here at 113 or 213. They're common, so that would work out just as well too. We can go into other places. Here's a C324. There's a ground there. You could get the points, any of these common ground points. And you could even see up here, if you look up here, there's places up here that you can get it from as well. So any of the common ground points will work for the power ground, I believe. And like I said, that should cover our connection points, and I think that should do us well for this CFD 510. So there you go. Alright, we have had to back up the bus just a bit here. I recorded this all yesterday and had some problems, and I'm going to explain that in a bit more detail. But for right now, I have this hooked up. I'll point out the source that I am using. It is basically the CD pin off of section 1 of the function switch, and that provides 9 volts to this little device here. Now, I had it hooked up to the CD pin of section 4 of that same switch, which only provides, I think, 5.1 volts, and everything worked except for the 32-bit gigabyte card. It would not work in there. And smaller cards would work fine. The USB key worked fine. That all worked. Everything, Bluetooth worked fine. Everything was working fine except for the 32 gigabyte card. Now, once I hooked it up to, I tried the battery first, 9-volt battery. It worked fine. And so then I hooked it up to, like I said, the CD pin off of section 1, which is a 9-volt source. and now it works fine. I will show you that if I can get to it. I have things kind of tight here. Now the only problem is, now you'll notice, watch the light come on there when it gets into radio. See, that's the problem. But when you switch to CD, it is working. So you can see it works fine. But again, like I said, it is active in radio mode as well. Now I believe, I can't be sure without doing the tape, but I believe it would do the same thing in tape mode if a tape was playing. It would be on. So, like I said, I'm going to try that now. I think I have a tape in there. I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, see, it's playing. As soon as I turn it off, it goes off. So that's the problem there with that source. Now the source is good as far as the voltage, but you know, like I said, it is not going to work with the you know, it's not working right. I need a better voltage source that is switched. Now obviously the 5-volt source is too low for this, even though it claims it works on 5 volts. Anyway, like I said, what I'm finding here is I need a different in-between source, whatever. Now there is a 7-volt source, but I think I tried that already, and I think it doesn't give me the results I want. But I am going to try that again and see if it does, and if it does, then that will cure my problem. So let me do that, and we'll come back. I am back once again, YouTube. It is same day. Different results, kind of like that, or at least I hope I like that. What I've got going now, and I'm going to show you on the diagram on the screen, and let me explain it real quick. As you can see there, where the power is connected, that is the feed for the CD motor. Now, Bob was afraid there would be some noise there, and I thought so too, but I have the CD hooked up now. And of course, as long as the CD isn't playing, but why would you have the CD playing when you were trying to play MP3s anyway? So, no problem there, I don't think. We're going to listen to it in just a second. But also, I've changed the orientation of the connections for the audio just a bit. I'm now connected instead of in the front of R119 and R219, I'm on the back side. I'm on the switch side of the resistor. There were R219 and 213 come together, and R119 and 113 come together. Is where I'm connected in with my audio now. I don't know if it was a problem with what I had connected before. I've tried several things with this, and it didn't work exactly right. But this seems to work pretty good. Let's give a little listen and see. Got to turn it on. Now, it does take a second because the motor runs, and you'll see it comes on, it's flashing. You'll hear some noise. Now there is some noise I'm hearing now, but I never heard that before, so I'm not really sure why. I'll have to investigate the noise a little bit more because there shouldn't be any noise there because nothing's running. It's just the output of the Q305 there, basically, and that's where I'm taking my 7 volts from, or 6.9, whatever it says there, and nothing's running.
At 4 faces, one man, a
I have to talk to Bob about that. Find out what that noise is.
Turn to each other.
Alright, there you go. That's it. I'm turning it up all the way now. It's up all the way right now. You can hear there's some kind of a sound there, but I'm not really sure exactly what it is. But it may be where I'm hooked in at the CD. I don't know, because I might be on the hot side of that. That might be part of it. There shouldn't be any noise there, because when the CD is fed through there shouldn't be any noise there. So I'm thinking maybe that's coming from the power supply. What we're going to do here now is check that real quick. I'm going to leave you plugged in just a second, and we're going to check it with the actually with the battery. Let's do that. Well, I could hear just as soon as I unclipped that wire, the noise went away. So I don't think we're going to have any noise with this. Pretty darn sure anyway, especially if I hook it up right. And I've got a bad connection here on this right channel. Keeps losing its connection. Okay, now I can hear hiss. Obviously the audio, but there's no noise to it now. So it obviously is that power supply. I'll have to figure out a better place to put that, I guess. I thought I had a perfect place there with that, because when I first turned it on, there was no noise at all with it. So it's kind of weird. But, you know, it is what it is. So I'm going to hook it up again just to see one more time.
Every morning at the mine.
Yeah, there's still noise there. You can hear it pretty clear. So it's got to be that power supply. I couldn't take that. I'd have to change that. So anyway, that's where we're going to leave this. I'm getting tired of this. I'm going to have to figure this out in my head or something. Now, one of the other ideas I had was to basically get a booster and use that with the 5-volt line, because the 5-volt line would work, I think. There's no noise on it, but I think it would work with if I could boost the voltage up to 9 volts. And I've got 2 of those coming. So that's going to take some time to get here, obviously. One of them's in Indianapolis, so it may not take as long. So anyway, when that comes in, we'll do some more experiments with this. But for right now, we're going to leave it as it is. So, like I said, it just is what it is. And let me get you back to the regular scheduled video, and we'll end this out. So, anywho, that's it. I've talked long enough. I know that. I know it in my mind, and I know it in my heart. But sometimes I just keep on rattling and rattling and rattling. All right, you guys have a pleasant evening. Thank you so very much for watching, and we will